Alright, hello Show Coyotes. We're going to be going over a little review from Unit 1. It's topics 1 and 2 in our Envision book. We're going to be talking about some of the different things that we've been covering in there. We're going to first hit the vocab. There's not very much vocab. We'll go over it pretty quick, and then we'll go over some example problems, so maybe it'll help you whenever you're preparing for your test that's coming up on this Friday. Or maybe this could help you when we're working on topics 3 and 4 as we move through the year. It could help you maybe go back and see what some of your mistakes were. So I'm going to write the vocab on the board really quick. Alright, so we have 4 words. We have value, standard form, expanded form, and word form that are going to be important for us for this test. Value. We're going to take a number like 8,917. Now, value talks about the value of this 7 is 7 ones. The value of this 1 in the tens place is 10. The value of this 9 in the hundreds place is 900. And the value of the 8 in the thousands place is 8,000. Now in 5th grade we go all the way up to the billions. So I'll expand onto this number, and then we can talk about what some of these other terms mean. Alright, the 9 in our number up here in 943,508,917,318. The 9 is valued at 900 billion. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about rounding too, because the rounding will be on your test. So I've got the 9 underlined. I want to round it to the nearest 100 billion, so I need to look to the right. It's 4 or less, so we're going to leave it alone. If it were 5 or more, we would round it up. So this number rounded to the nearest 100 billion would be 900 billion. A lot of zeros, right? Now, if we were going to round this number to the nearest, let's say a million here. I'm going to round this number to the nearest million. So I've got the 8 underlined in the millions place. That tells us that that's the area that we're looking at, so we need to really focus on the number to the right of it. The number to the right of it is greater than 5, so that tells us we're going to round up. So this 8 is going to turn into a 9, and all these digits after that are going to turn into zeros. So our number would look like this. My 8 turned into a 9. Now it's zeros the rest of the way out. So all of these numbers are written in standard form. Standard form is just the regular way that we normally write numbers. And then expanded form is also a different way that you can write numbers. Expanded form is kind of like a big addition problem for numbers. So I'll erase what I have here, and I'll write the expanded form for this group. Okay, a lot of numbers. We've got 900 billion, 40 billion, 3 billion, plus 500 million, 8 million, plus 900,000, plus 10,000, plus 7,000, plus 300, plus 10, plus 8. So if we added all of these together, it would equal our original number. So this is called expanded form. That's the one that ends up looking like a big long addition problem. And as you can see, for a large number like this, there's a lot of work to show. Smaller numbers, not so much. If this number had been 7,318, it would have looked just like this. So just that number, this number, that number, that number. All right, now word form of this number, I am not going to write. I'm going to change the number, and I will show So this is 17,318 is our number that we have here, and that would be in word form. So on your test, whenever it asks for word form, you're going to write it just like this. I do want to do one more example so that we can include a decimal also. So we'll choose a number like 65 and 7/10. This would be 65 and 7/10 written in standard form, 65 and 7/10 written in expanded form would look like that. So there's standard form, expanded form, now word form. '65 and 65 and 7/10. Notice I didn't say 0.7 or 65.7. This is 65 and 7/10. If you write 65.7, it will be 100% wrong. So make sure that it's, anytime you see the decimal, it's pronounced and. Before we talk about addition and subtraction, I really want to talk about comparing and ordering numbers. Now, when we're comparing and ordering numbers, we always look from the left to the right. So I'm going to write a couple of numbers up here, 50 and 47. Okay, when we're comparing 50 and 47, we have to look at the most valuable place value first. And both of these are two-digit numbers, so our most valuable place value is the tens place. So we look at the tens place. This one has a 5 and this one has a 4. So obviously 50 is going to be larger than 47. Now if we have a number with a decimal, our most valuable place is still the place value that's furthest to the left. So I'm going to look at my tenths place first. We have a 3 and a 1. So that we know that 365 thousandths is greater than 118 thousandths. Let's do another. Okay, 75 hundredths and 80 hundredths. Well, let's change that to 780 thousandths, just to make it look a little different. So we have 75 hundredths compared to 780 thousandths. We look in the tenths place first. They both have a 7. So we have to move to the hundredths place. When we're in the hundredths place, we see that there is an 8 in this number and a 5 in this number. So we know that 780 thousandths is larger than 75 hundredths. And like we noticed before, if we erased that extra 0 off, this is just 78 hundredths. Alright, now we can talk about some addition and some subtraction. First, we're going to be working with 3,487 65 hundredths plus 2,346 and 32 hundredths. Okay. The most important thing you need to do whenever you're working with decimals and addition and subtraction is first make sure that you have your place values lined up and that you have your decimals lined up. If you have everything kind of wonky and slid all over the place, it's going to be a lot more difficult for you to try to trace through where your ones are, where your tens are, and where your hundreds are. Make sure you line up the decimals. Make sure that that's taken care of first. So I'm even going to go ahead and drop in my decimal down here now. And then I can add this just as if it were 348,765. Now that my decimal's in there, a lot of the work is done. So I can just go through each row and add. So 5 plus 2 is 7, 6 plus 3 is 9, 7 plus 6 is 3, so I need to carry my 1 up here. 1 plus 8 plus 4 is 13, carry my 1 up. 1 plus 4 plus 3 is 8. 5,833 and 97 hundredths. Now, let's try a subtraction problem. Alright, here we have 9,875 and 53 hundredths minus 6,496 and 48 hundredths. First, I'm going to estimate so that I can check for reasonableness on my final answer. So I'm going to do 9,900 minus 6,500. Alright, so I know that should be about 3,400 for my answer over here. Alright, so first I know that I can't take 8 from 3, so I'm going to have to distribute. So I'm going to go up to my 5, take 1 away, that now becomes a 4. So now I'm looking at 13 minus 8, which is 5. 4 minus 4, 0. Drop my decimal in. I could have done this before I even started anything on the problem. I could have dropped my decimal down, it would have made it easier. This time I didn't, so make sure to put that in. I cannot take 6 from 5, so I'm going to go next door over here. That's 15. 15 minus 6 is 9. I can't take 9 from 6, so again, we're distributing. 16 minus 9 is 7. 7 minus 4 is 3. 9 minus 6 is 3. So we have 3,379 and 5 hundredths, which is close to our estimate. So this is a reasonable answer, so I'm good with it. If we wanted to double check for accuracy, 100%, we could add our sum to our second add-in, and we should get an answer that equals our first add-in. Let's check and see. So 6. And we got the same number that we started with at the top, 9,875 and 53 hundredths. So we're positive that we got the correct answer on our subtraction problem. I want to do a couple more problems before we finish, but I think that we're just about to wrap up, so I want to do a couple more problems just to double check to make sure that you guys are there. So I want you to follow along with me and make sure that I'm doing this correctly. Okay, before I get started, I'm going to estimate this to 9,000 and this to 5,000. Really rough estimate. Together that should be about 14,000. So my answer to this problem should be close to 14,000. This one I'm going to estimate to 6,000 and 5,000. So 6,000 minus 5,000 should be somewhere around 1,000. Let's do our addition problem first. 7 plus 6 is 13. Carry my 1 up. 1 plus 3 plus 9 is 13, so I carry my 1 up. 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4. 9 plus 5 is 14. So our answer came out to close to our estimate of 14,000. So that is reasonable, so I'm good with that answer. Now let's try our subtraction problem. I can't take 8 from 4, so I need to redistribute. That becomes a 7. This is now a 14. 14 minus 8 is 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. I can't take 7 from 3, so I have to distribute. 13 minus 7 is 6. 5 minus 4 is 1. So 1,616. Pretty close to our estimate of about 1,000 that we had estimated before we started. So that is a reasonable answer. It's going to be an important thing when your test is checking to make sure that your answers are reasonable. And reading the wording on the test is also going to be very important because some of these questions can get a little tricky, so make sure that you understand exactly what you're supposed to be doing on each and every question. Alright, well that is it. Hope this was helpful for you guys, and if you continue to watch, I'll continue to make them.